Willkommen zu einer neuen Folge von Maikes Raumzeit. Heute geht es um ein Thema, das aktueller nicht sein könnte. Die Optimierung von Customer Experience mit KI. Mein heutiger Gast ist Experte auf diesem Gebiet. Er verantwortet als Head of Customer Experience and Employee Experience Business Line bei Orange Business den Go-to-Market-Bereich für Kunden- und Mitarbeitererlebnisse in Europa. Mit einer klaren Mission, Unternehmen dabei zu unterstützen, sich durch erstklassige, herausragende Erlebnisse vom Wettbewerb abzuheben, ist genau der richtige Gesprächspartner, mit dem ich nun in das Thema eintauchen darf. Ich begrüße bei mir Rik McCrossan. Da er Englisch spricht, wird diese Episode auch auf Englisch aufgenommen und ich switche nun. Hello, Rik.
Hi, Micah. Thank you for inviting me today. It's a pleasure to be with you.
My first question is, can you please say a few words about yourself? Who are you? What's your role? What are you doing?
Yeah, sure. I think you said it in the intro there, but I lead the customer experience and employee experience go-to-market for Orange Business in Europe. And I've been at Orange Business for just over 2 years, but I've been in the CX industry for maybe more years than I'd care to count. But I'm based in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and it's great to be with you today.
Can you give us, before we dive into the topic of customer experience, actually, a brief introduction to Orange Business?
Yeah, so Orange Business, we are a leading network and digital integrator serving mostly large multinational clients with their cloud cybersecurity connectivity needs across the world. In the area of customer experience and employee experience, what we're all about is helping our clients get to the top of the experience charts, standing out in their industries with class-leading employee experience and customer experience, so that their customers want to come back again and again, and their employees want to perform at the top of their game. And I know we'll get into this, but really all that is all about orchestrating their experience orchestra, making all the complexities that go into CX and EX, making that work into creating that beautiful harmony, that beautiful piece of music and experience that ultimately customers and employees deserve.
I do love the comparison with music and the orchestrating part. How do you define the truly outstanding customer and employer experience?
Okay, so the experience has to be easy. It has to be frictionless for the human. It has to be human-centric. Because whether you're a customer or an employee, and I know we're going to talk about AI, so I think it's really important that we actually start with the human, because the human's at the center of all of this, and making life easy for the customer and the employee. So easy for the employee to do their job, to be able to perform at the top of their game, so they feel satisfied, they feel motivated, they want to come to work every day because they know they've got the tools that are going to help them do great stuff. And for customers, companies don't, or customers don't go to a company because they want a great experience. They go to a company because they want to solve a problem. Yeah. And they want to get something. And the easier that is to get that they feel empathized with, that the people that they're talking to get what they're trying to do, and they get to the resolution, they get to where they need to be quicker and easier. That's ultimately what sets companies apart that deliver a great experience, is when it's easy for customers to get what they need, to get what they want. Yeah.
You mentioned AI. What role does AI play in achieving these experiences?
So AI in many ways it's the augmentation to this. It should take away a lot of the repetitive, boring tasks. But at the end of the day, when you look at a lot of what AI does today, humans can do it. It just takes time. It just takes time and effort. And what AI will do is take away all that time and effort and churning through lots of data to get to the answer. So it takes away the boring, monotonous stuff that for humans, so that humans can then spend more time being humans, building relationships, sharing empathy with each other. And, I really want that to be a key point from this today, is we need to make sure the human remains at the center of this. And, AI in many ways should bring humanity back, not take away from it. It's not about, taking away the life or the job of the human being. It's about giving humanity the space to be human, to build relationships, to build connections with other people.
To be aware of strength, having our strength in to build relationships and be strong and helping then in this case of solving the problem or the issue that the customer.
Yeah, and community. It's been. I listened to a motivational speaker recently, and they were making the point that in this modern era, technology companies, don't compete against technology versus technology or product versus product. It's community versus community, and it's communities that are successful now and communities that stand out, not necessarily technology. And that's all about human interactions and human relationships. And that's what AI can enable for us. And really, we always need to keep that at the forefront of our minds.
It makes me think of, it was not long ago, I heard Trevor Noah, you probably know him, the comedian. I heard him talking about AI actually, yes. And I'm reciting him lately a lot, but it kind of stuck with me that what you're saying now as well, that AI is not replacing us or taking away certain things that we do in our roles or in our job, but it's helping us. Because he said that if you kind of let all people go and the humans are not in the company anymore, where does your knowledge go? Where does creativity go for new services, new products, and all these things? What actually makes the human and the human and where our strengths are? Would you agree on that then in this case?
Yeah, I think yes, fundamentally yes. I mean, I think, and I do have a bit of an allergy sometimes to the hype around AI, but ever since mankind invented the wheel.
Yeah.
We've always been inventing ways that take away the work, the boring tasks of humanity, and we're just in another wave of that now. But humans always then focus on the things that matter to human beings: mastery, relationships, and yes, I think in some of the creative industries, AI is definitely an interesting topic because it can short circuit a lot of what feels like an important part of the creative process. But ultimately, and we'll talk about this as well. You should never let AI just run rampant on its own. There always has to be the human in there, and I'm sure we've all seen that creative stuff, and there's even tools out there that will create music and movies and so on. But it always feels a little bit it's missing something, and sometimes we don't know what that is. But it's what it's missing is the human touch. It's missing that passion, the emotion that goes into that. The automation can never replace that, and so it'll definitely help and challenge us to think differently about many careers. But I never veer away from what technology advancements. I think we need to think about how does this help us be better? What do we do now that we know what we know? I mean, 20, 30 years ago, we never had microwave ovens in our households. Now everybody does. So we cook in a different way now. So it's not like we stopped cooking all of a sudden. We didn't stop cooking, right? We still cook. We just do it differently now. And it'll be the same in today. So once, there you go.
Absolutely. And I think many companies do actually recognize the potential of AI, but struggle, on the other hand, with the implementation. How does Orange Business help bridge that gap and ensure this seamless integration into existing workflows?
Yeah, so that's a big focus then of what we do at Orange Business. We're here to help companies make the most of their AI investment in a controlled, secure, trusted, confident way. The big challenge that companies are facing today with AI, and this is what our clients are saying to me all the time, is it's chaos. Number one, there's just so many vendors out there. There's so many choices. There's so many vendors trying to sell me AI. I don't know which one to use. But second of all, because the world of cloud has made it so easy now for anybody to go and just buy an AI service from somewhere. Internally in organizations, it's a huge risk. CIOs are telling us, look, I'm really worried about the chaos of AI within my organization because there's so much shadow AI and so many different initiatives going on. There's no control in place. So what Orange Business is trying to do is put control in place to help our clients do all of that in a safe, secure, trusted way. And that kind of goes comes to life in a couple of different ways, but fundamentally we try to put a bit of a framework around it because you're doing AI for a reason. And in the areas of customer service, customer experience, it's about optimizing the human interaction, because the human interaction is the most expensive part of any customer service, customer experience outfit. So, but getting to human interaction at the right time and in the right way is ultimately what you're trying to do. And we see that coming in 4 steps.
Okay.
It's a cycle. So, right, step number 1 is about analytics. Now that could be step number 4 if you like, but it's a loop. But analytics is of what's happened before with this customer and other customers. And so what does this customer need in order to get to where they need to be? Step number 2 is automation for the customer. And that, you get some of this traditional stuff around chatbots and knowledge and so on, and even some of the more advanced capabilities that are there. But this is what we were talking about in our intro, is augmenting some of those silly, boring things that and automating the easy stuff. And then step number 3 is personalization, trying to figure out, well, what is the right thing that this customer needs? Is it what employee do they need to speak to? If they need to speak to employee, when do they need to speak to them? How do they need to speak to them? Could it be the same sales agent or the same tech support agent that they've been dealing with up until that point? And then step number 4, maybe the biggest one, which is the actual employee themselves. And there's so many different terms that people use: co-pilot, augmented agent, assisted agent. So many different terms that the different companies will use for this. But it's about that employee experience, helping that employee get that answer that the customer needs.
Yeah.
And that in itself is a massive, complex challenge. Many contact centers out there have more than 20 different systems on the agent desktop.
Yeah.
So you imagine, how many applications that you have to get through in order to figure out what this customer needs, where they are on their journey, and what answer I can give to them. So simplifying that ecosystem so that the agent, the employee, is empowered to deliver the right answer. And that's not just for employees in the front office, in the contact center. It's for employees in the back office. It's for employees in factories and labs they're all in part of this collaboration to deliver a great experience to the end customer. So as Orange, then we put that framework in place to help our clients make the right decisions. And then we help them with a mixture of Orange technology, partner technology, but ultimately putting that governance in place to put the control and so on in place to help them, first of all, make good decisions about which AI to use where and when. Second of all, to implement it and actually connect all the dots, to connect the different AIs, the data sources to all the systems. And then finally to run that in a secure and trusted manner. Okay.
I would like you mentioned shadow AI. I just would like to jump on that quickly before we continue talking about the other things. Is like, how do you tackle this issue or topic of learning or bringing employees up to date and all the use of the AI tools? How do you see that?
So we do a couple of things. So first of all, with it's kind of the advisory type services. We help clients make choices about and comparisons about what AI is going to help in different parts of their business. So we help them make informed choices. One of the ways we even start that is a simple maturity assessment that people can just click on to answer a few questions to help them figure out what they're trying to do. But then when you start getting into the dialogue with our clients, we help them with various different models and approaches, depending where they are on their maturity. And it could be ideation workshops. What are you trying to achieve? Is AI the right way to go? Even, and if so, should it be here? Should it be in the CRM? Should it be in your contact center, your marketing automation? Right the way through to experimentation and model office and pilots and trials, through to full production implementation. So we have offers and consulting packs in place to help our clients take a structured approach to that challenge. And I think that's my key message here, really, is that we're here to help our clients put structure around this. And help make better decisions.
Yeah. I just have a question understanding. Then, is the customer free to choose the AI models that it wants to use, or how does that work? Did I get that right?
Yes. So to an extent, and here's how I'll answer that. So part of yes, fundamentally, But what we will do is we help them make good choices. And part of that will be like within our, our responsible ethical AI charter, for example, like, we hold ourselves and our partners to account. We will evaluate the what they're doing and how it suits what the client is trying to achieve.
Okay.
And it will help the client then figure out, well, actually, you know what, maybe that's sounds great on paper, but there's a few things there that are question marks. And for some of the partners that we have plugged into our ecosystem, we've actually said no because we don't believe that they're ready.
Okay.
And so we again, that's why we want our customers to trust that we've got their backs in this, because we will make the hard decisions and we'll go through the analysis, the due diligence on the technology that's out there. So customers, are they free to choose? Absolutely, but we will help them make a choice that is that's right for them.
Yeah. What makes Orange Business in particular as well, the life intelligence to stand out from other AI-powered business intelligence or customer experience solutions available today, in your opinion?
Yeah. So a couple of things. So first of all, we're not trying to be yet another AI vendor in the market. Okay. So because there's so much out there, we don't want to add to the chaos.
Yeah.
We're here to help control the chaos and put some structure around. But specifically in the area of live intelligence, we've actually been using this internally for 2 years now.
Okay.
We've had more than 70,000 people within the Orange Group have been using our live intelligence system for the last couple of years. It's about 30,000 a month are still using that today. So we have a lot of real world experience already. That's people that are using it for software development, asking questions, but people that are using it for summarization and rewriting content and I think meeting minutes is still one of the top used use cases for AI. So we have a lot of experience already in this topic. We have a lot of partners across many different domains in customer and employee experience, right across marketing, sales, service, IT, collaboration. So we know what the vendors can do, and we can help our clients make good choices about what to use, where, and when. And there was something else that I had in my mind, which I've now forgotten. But there you go.
It's continue. Maybe you're going to remember at some point. But for companies adopting the technology, what measurable improvements have you seen so far? Maybe you can share some success stories and cases with us.
Yeah. So there's a few. I mean, so there's some of the internal use cases I mentioned. For example, we have one particular use case which is quite popular, which is help writing proposals for contracts. That's a process that measurably maybe used to take 2 to 3 weeks. It now takes 2 to 3 hours. The AI can generate the content in a few moments, but there's still the human work, as we said before. The human has to still review it, QA it, put the humanity into it. But that now takes hours, not weeks. So we've seen things like that. We have clients that have been using AI to for technicians, for example, that are in the field all day, every day. Those technicians need to be being technicians. They don't need to be reporting what they're doing. They need to be being technicians and fixing problems and installing equipment. So what we've helped them do is those technicians will just almost like fire and forget short snippets of information about what they've been doing, where they're doing it, why they're doing it. And the AI will take care of actually then reporting back on that and structuring the reports. We've got government agencies as well that have been using AI to simplify and the life of government employees, providing answers to citizens on complex queries. So there's lots of examples now that we've been building up.
Yeah. With AI comes growing concerns as well about data privacy and security. How does Orange Business address these challenges?
So a few things. So first of all, we have what we call, and I'm going to get this name wrong here, but our Data and AI Ethics Charter.
Okay.
So we've established a charter that we hold ourselves to account, but we also hold our partners, and we even help our clients be held to account to that. So everything we do, we try to we use that charter to put that governance in place, that control, that accountability in place, that what we do is secure, is trusted, but also ethical. I mean, maybe we'll talk a little bit later about some of the environmental impacts of AI, because that's one of the things that we cover off as well.
Yeah.
But we also, but again, we give customers then choice on how they want to consume and how they want to host, right the way through to, public cloud. We have contracts in place with our partners that ensure that our customers' data is secure. It's not used for training unless they want it to be, things like that, right the way through to private, dedicated, sovereign cloud hosted, locally. But more than that, we also have our own governance processes and control processes that we help our clients implement. So again, that they can put the right processes in place to make sure that the AI is doing what they need it to do without that risk of data getting out to where it shouldn't be.
Yeah. You mentioned the ethical point and the question, because AI, as we all know, the bias remains a key challenge, and hallucinations. What measures do you take to ensure that there is this fairness and ethical AI use in life intelligence or in your tools?
And AI so there's a few topics in there. So again, I mentioned our data and AI ethics charter. So we first of all we put that in place, and we use that to hold ourselves to account on what we do. So we've also established a responsible AI design authority. So they will qualify the risk level associated with each AI project. So we're taking an upfront proactive approach to that first of all.
Okay.
The governance that we help our clients put in place, but so much of that then is about the human touch, because again, we cannot let AI run rampant on its own. The human has to be part of that. We've learned that internally with our use of AI across all of our employees. And we're learning that with our clients as well. It's about making sure that the human being is in the right place in the process to review what the AI is doing, to review what content is in there, the performance of it, what the things that it's saying. So it's the governance to put in place to make sure the human remains part of that part of that process. So again, it's all about trying to put structure and order around the chaos in AI.
Yeah, you mentioned just right now the governance and AI governance. What's your take on this? How do you see companies having evolved and kind of their governance, or is that still, are we at the beginning?
I think we're at the beginning. I think there's some companies that are probably doing it well, but I think generally speaking, companies are struggling with this, and it comes back to one of my earlier points of shadow AI, where it's so easy now for different departments, different people within a company to go and get an AI service from somewhere, and they do that without the internal checks and balances. Companies may have a chief data and AI officer, but often their job is almost retrospective. They're trying to clean up the mess that has been created, rather than people within the company checking with that structure first. So I think companies are maybe playing a little bit of catch up and retrospectively fixing some of these issues here.
Another topic I would like to bring on the table is we're talking about AI, we're talking about customer experience. Data is the key actually to all of that. Where do you see companies standing? Is there a seamless kind of understanding, a 360 kind of view on the customer? Do they see the data, and is it seamless, or is it now with AI something that is more happening?
So this is one of my frustrations and the opportunities that I'm excited about in the world of CX, because I think that this is one of those things that's been a problem in CX and DX for as long as I can remember. There's a lot of focus in companies now to try and consolidate data, but I still think there's so much of a ways to go, because the reality is that companies, they have marketing departments, sales departments, service departments, product departments, and they may have an initiative to try and consolidate data across all of that. But there's still big ecosystems of technology in each of those domains of the business, and they all hold customer information. They're all different parts of the customer journey, and companies still struggle to connect those dots and provide that seamless connection. That's why we talk about it as it's your experience orchestra. because in your orchestra, you have your musicians, right? You have your marketing team, your sales team, your collaboration, HR. You have your instruments, your CRM, contact center, and you have different musical keys, right? You have your KPIs. Some people care about revenue. Some people care about leads. Some people care about productivity. So it is a complex orchestra, and trying to get that all to come together to play great music is still the challenge that companies have today, and that's the data challenge that companies have. So it is something that we help our clients do. But it's not about necessarily putting all the data in one place. Because that's actually, when you got different technology ecosystems across the business, but it is about trying to connect that data across the entire ecosystem so that you're creating that harmony of experience for the customers and employees.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's look a bit into the future, if we may, because as we mentioned and we're talking before, that many businesses remain still cautious about adopting AI-driven intelligence solutions. What's your advice to give those that are still hesitant?
So I would say the first thing to do, and this is a bit self-serving, but take our maturity assessment. So, I don't know if you'll let us put the link in the podcast or not, but I would say start there. It's free to do. Anybody can just fill in that maturity assessment, and it'll help you answer some questions about where you are and what you're trying to do, and we can take people through that.
Yeah.
But that's the self-serving bit. Again, it comes back to governance. I mean, if you don't have a chief data and AI officer, maybe that's what you should be considering to do. Maybe it's not a chief officer. Maybe it's somebody but somebody needs to have that role to be that internal conductor of these initiatives, be that kind of the person that will put in place the governance and so on. Don't be afraid of AI. There's a lot of hype around it. As I said earlier, I have a little bit of an allergy to the hype. But again, as we said earlier, it will just become commonplace, and it'll just become the way we do things. But it's important then that we do things in the right way, and we make sure we put the right structure and governance in place to make good decisions about what we're doing with AI.
Yeah, good decisions how to use it. Let's remember, as you said, the microwave. We're still having it, or the calculator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any upcoming developments, either to live intelligence or in general from Orange Business that companies should look forward to?
Yeah. So there's a few things that we're working on. First of all, I do want to say in the future, where this is all going. I think it's so much about keeping the human at the center, and we bring humanity back in many ways. Because we'll let AI take away the boring, repetitive, automated stuff. And give more space for the human to be humans, to be creative, to be empathetic, and build relationships. We are adding more and more partners, more LLMs into live intelligence. We will expand who we connect to there. And again, that goes back to my earlier topic about we don't just add them in. We evaluate. We do our due diligence, and we decide who and who not we will let into that. We're bringing out more capabilities. AI orchestration for CX is another important capability that we have running right now as well, to help our CX and EX clients with the different AI that they may have AI in CRM, they may have AI in contact center, they may have multiple different AIs doing different things within the contact center CX domain. We orchestrate that for them. So there's a front end for the administration team. So again, putting that control around it so that you can see in one place what your holistic AI is doing. So we're going to be bringing out more and more in that space. And we're excited to see what the future holds for this, because I heard somebody say earlier on there that I think it was the CEO of Microsoft was recently quoted as saying that software as a service is dead. Now, that's maybe a provocative statement, but it does open up interesting thoughts about things like, well, what as a service is coming next? Is it agent as a service, assistant as a service, something like that. So we're gonna be doing a lot more in this space.
Yeah, there's a lot to come, huh? But my last question is now more a personal question. What's your vision of how AI will optimize or shape customers and employee experiences in the next few years?
So I think that AI will allow us to bring the human back. Will allow us to really emphasize the value of humanity. And it's not an accident that we use the whole analogy of beautiful music and conducting your experience orchestra, because beautiful music is emotional. It evokes emotion, and AI is going to help take away and get to that emotion, get to that beautiful music quicker and easier. But ultimately, that beautiful music is what will help organizations stand out with the kind of experience for their customers and employees that just take them to the top of the charts and be successful businesses.
Thank you very much. With that, I would close our podcast episode. Thank you very much for sharing all your insights and the outlook with us. And thank you. Have all the best.
Thank you, Micah. It's been a pleasure to speak with you today, and I hope this has been valuable for your listeners. Thank you very much.